Trojan family, man. Trojan gay, man. DJ Winfield, we needed this. This is big. This is big, right? This is huge. You know what I'm saying? Offense line is critical, right? And I have brought y'all a video about this kid, you know what I'm saying, on one of my past previous videos. And guess what? It came to pass. It came to fruition. And y'all know we needed this after Emmanuel Pregnon popped his ass in the portal. What's up, B Jinx? And the great thing about this California kid, that's why I was telling y'all, USC's been focused on California lately in the high school ranks in the portal. USC is looking at players in the portal that's from Cali to see if they can get them to come back home. And DJ Winfield is one of those kids. And this kid is not a throwaway. This kid is not a throwaway. Like, he's not one of them kids that didn't get no playing time, looking for some playing time. No, this kid was starting. He got an NFL grade. He coming back to make his grade better. Yeah, I still miss Pregnon, Joey, right? I still miss Pregnon, but this is crucial. And, hey, we might could lure Pregnon back. Who knows? Like, it happened before. But, yes, of course, I'm going to miss Pregnon, but this signing at least put us back where we were. This kid is elite. This kid is an NFL level type player like Pregnon was. So this might be a fair exchange. Now, I want to stack. You want to stack. We supposed to been adding Winfield with Pregnon. But now we got to get another one. Hopefully, you know, that Pregnon money left, we was able to get Winfield with it. So that money we was going to give Winfield, that we gave him Pregnon money. Now we going to use the Winfield money because he got the Pregnon money on another offense alignment. Right? So this is huge. It's crucial. And it's just great for momentum. For momentum and perception. Momentum and perception is everything nowadays, right? So once you get a recruit like Pregnon who decommitted, man, that don't look great for your program. It's kind of like, you know, but when we sign this, it's like, okay, we still moving the groove. We got that momentum back. It may signal that Pregnon he probably was too rich for our blood. Right? Pregnon probably was too rich for our blood. And then we probably got somebody a little more cheaper, about just as good. About just as good, right? So if he about just as good, what I think he is, he's 6'7", he's a monster too. Y'all look up DJ Winfield, right? Ain't no slouch. DJ Winfield is the real deal. So if we got him at a cheaper price, if it was about money for Pregnon, then it's actually an upgrade because he like on the same level, cheaper price. Now we could wiggle more. You know what I'm saying? Now we could wiggle more in the transfer portal. California kid too, so he's bound to play a little harder. He playing for the soil now. You know what I'm saying? That means something, right? So DJ Winfield is a 6'4", 316-pound offensive lineman from LA. Right? And we in it for another one too. The linebacker, I think you talking about what's his name? Hold on, let me look up it right now. I know let me see. Hold on. I'll check for a minute. Because Jordan Bass, I think that's the linebacker name. Yeah, I think it's Jordan Bass or something. Yeah, Jordan Bass, linebacker from Pitt. Right? We finally got a official visit. Well, we already know about Imba coming. We already knew he was coming. He coming today. Matter of fact, Imba's on campus today, another defensive lineman. But that linebacker you talking about is Jordan Bass out of Pittsburgh. Had an injury last year. A lot of potential though. But this right here, what's going on right now, this is the number one priority we need. What's up, B Jinx?
What's going on with you, my man?
Man, we needed this, bro. I was doing something live real quick.
So, anytime you have a situation like that where we come right back and fit it, you have to remember that one thing that we didn't take into account, or we know, a lot of these kids, like Pregnon, is going to demand a higher NIL than what they had the year before. Like I said, a lot of these kids are on 1 year rentals. But we didn't account for what the agents might be going in there asking for. So if you got an agent, that agent is pretty much dealing with the GM, whomever is in charge of the NIL collective, right? So the player is like pretty much, okay, I got me a representative. It don't make any sense for me to say anything. So if he's telling him this is your market value right here, then that's what they're going with it, and you stick with it. You understand what I'm saying? So now it's kind of like playing hardball. It's almost like, okay, well, we're gonna let you go test the market to see, what you can reel in. And he's an interior player, he's proven he's gonna get some offers. But if you can replace him, like you said, what we just did, at the same amount or something a little cheaper, then you can always use that extra money off the top to find you something else, in addition to what we poured in. So it's good that we replace him. Now, it'd be one thing if we could replace him, then that would be bad. But I see right now, again, we don't know the specifics of it. These negotiations with these agents and with the GM or whomever is over the NIL collective. We don't know, the specifics of it. All we know is we lost a good player in Pregnon who was a leader. We had another year left to decide to come back, but I don't know who mentioned it on your last live that whatever grade from the evaluation grade that they got from the NFL, you look at that, okay, I might be a second day or third day pick. That's the type of money I'm going to demand. And maybe I could play my way into the first round. And I ain't mad at no kid. I just try to get his paper up. I never would be mad at that. I didn't get us, letting the kid like that walk.
Look, it seemed apparently like we had a backup plan just in case Pregnon, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because before he already hopped in the portal, this dude, and we going after another offensive lineman, I forget his name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
let me ask you a question. How many years left this kid got?
Let me see. I was just looking at his profile.
Because that could be a factor too.
Oh, well, I know he a senior. I don't know if he got his COVID year or not.
Did you say he went to JUCO?
I think he did before Purdue.
So the JUCO years don't count no more.
Wait, right? No. I think he wasn't at a JUCO. He was at New Mexico.
Okay, I thought I heard you say he went to a JUCO or something like that.
Nah, he was at New Mexico. Then he went to Purdue. But he just like Pregnon. Pregnon was just gonna give us 1 year too.
Right. So evidently, and Pregnon's play, he could arguably say, or his agent could arguably say, hey, look, this is what I produced the last 2 years for the program. We haven't had any pressures. I haven't given up any sacks. Right now, I'm one of the top interior offensive linemen in college football. I've decided to come back, but we feel like he's worth X amount of dollars. And again, it's not up to me to say how much his kid's worth. They feel they determine how much they're worth, them and their agent. So hypothetically speaking, let's just say he asked for the collective was paying him $250,000, right? Let's just say that they were paying him $250,000, right? And then he came back this year and said, well, hey, look, these are my stats. I haven't given up any sacks. As a matter of fact, I'm one of the best interior linemen in the country. And if I go to the NFL, I'm looking at a late second round, which is going to guarantee me about, anywhere from 500 to 600. I want about 650 to come back. I can see the collective saying, you know what, we can get somebody else, for about 250 for what we paying you from another school, who maybe is not as high profile as you, but can are they sufficient? Can they get the job done?
Right.
And that's what they have to evaluate as well. So before we start handing out any big bags, and I heard you allude to it earlier, can we get 2 for 1?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Can we get you and another one for what you're asking for? So again, you have to remember that these agents are sticking their hand in the cookie jar as well because they're getting a percentage of what these kids get.
Oh, they saying in the chat that he had went to El Camino. He did go to junior college.
So he might have 2 years left. You understand what I'm saying?
He might have 2 years left.
So if we can get him for 2 years for what we paying you, and then go and get somebody else, from an economical standpoint, it makes sense. Now, again, I've always preached that, just to lock up your premium positions of needs, and Pregnon was one. But if we can bring in another guy who's just as good or just as sufficient and show him up, bring in another depth piece or maybe a starter at right tackle, you got to remember, we need a right tackle too. So if we can bring in 2 for the price of 1, I get it, what they're doing, they're trying to be as economically sound as possible, especially with Pregnon only having 1 year left. So I get it. And again, we can't attach our emotions to these kids anymore, man. These are pretty much, with the combination of the portal and NIL, a lot of these kids are gonna be 1 year rentals.
Right. What you talking about, Walter Clark? Ember on campus right now.
I thought he was visiting last week or something like that.
No, he on campus right now. Check it
out.
out.
Oh, he is Ember. Now that's the kid that went to Auburn, right? Didn't he go to Auburn or something like that?
He went to Purdue, but I guess Auburn, one of his schools he might go to.
No. He started at Auburn, then he went to Purdue. Ember, I remember Ember being coming in one of those recruiting classes because I was like, hey man, that kid looked nice. But I think he started off at Auburn, went to Purdue, but now he's considering Auburn in his top 3 as well, along with USC. I want to say it was somebody else, but that receiver that was it? No. He wasn't a receiver. He was a DB that came and visited. He signed with Texas A&M. Can't remember that kid name. What's his name? Jeez, they might know in the chat. But he signed. He committed to Texas A&M. It's the one who just came a couple of days ago.
Somebody that came to the USC?
Yeah, to visit. He was a DB. He left Washington. I think he left Washington. Did he leave Washington? May have been Washington, somebody else. But he signed with he committed to Texas A&M. He was there on a recruiting visit a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
they might know. They might know in the chat.
Yeah, they might know in the chat. But yeah, Ember, we need to make sure he don't leave campus. Hey, look, I look at it like this: whatever money we didn't want to pay Pregnon, that's more money we got.
Yeah. So, but also, I'm glad you mentioned that. Also, if you notice, ain't too many kids leaving off that defense, are they? Off the defensive side of the ball. And that's why I've been saying, the whole time, man, look, they looking at showing up this defense because that was the one glaring that was the weakest link that we had, this past season was the defensive line. I truly believe with a better defensive line, we win those games. But, unfortunately, we didn't make that switch at QB until the end of the season. And I get why Riley had to wait until the end of the season. He wanted to give an extra week, which came along the bye week, to get them up to speed and, getting those reps with the first team. Just so happened that, like I said, unfortunately, it was at the end of the season as opposed to the middle of the season. Had it been in the middle of the season, we probably would have won another 3 or 4 games.
Right. Oh, yeah, I seen that. Jaden Rashad hopped in the portal again. Like, these teams be going every year. This is 3rd time hopping in the portal. Like,
some of the quarterback. Where is he? Is he out of Nevada or is he out of Cali? He out of Cali, right?
Yeah, I think he out of Cali, but he had went to, I think, Arizona
Florida.
State first. Then I think he went to
No,
like Florida.
it was Florida first. Florida promised him 13 and a half, but
Yeah,
that deal back, they backed out of the deal for whatever reason. I don't know whether or not they didn't have the funds or what. Then he committed to Arizona State. He went to Arizona State for a year. Then next thing I know, he was at Georgia. Now he's back in the portal again. Listen, I want to say it was on maybe on USCJ. So, in the mix of all of this, Carter, man, and you have to realize that all of these kids are not going to go pro. At some point, man, you have to sit your ass down somewhere and get you an education. And see what I'm saying? This
exactly.
hopping back and forth, we know it, and that also tells the coaching staff, whatever school you're looking at, exactly why you coming there. You not education is not not a priority for you at all. It's simply for the bag. So if you don't get any playing time or if you don't start or anything like that, you know what's happening. You hopping right back in the portal. We know this. So I don't want a lot of these kids, chasing the bag to get lost or miss out on one of the primary um, focal points. Get your degree, man. All of this, hopping and stuff like that. At some point, that short term money gonna run out. Especially if you're not getting there, putting in the work and being developed. And I think we mentioned something about that on your show the other day when you was talking to your family. At some point, man, development and your education is gonna have to be, one of your primary reasons, not just, a couple of dollars that's gonna run out in a few years. You got to remember, you got about 3 to 4 years to get this thing, you know, um, nailed down. And if you hadn't made it to the league by your fourth year, more than likely you need to sit out somewhere and get you a degree, man.
Yeah, and what these kids need to realize is that 97% of the college kids don't make the draft. And
Right,
then out that
right,
3% that do make the draft, half of them don't even make it to their second contract. So
right,
we really thinking about only like 1.5% each year is gonna make the
right,
draft and have
right,
two contracts,
right.
have a full career. So that
And,
that degree it's very important,
right. And
right?
only the elite of the high school players that's coming out or that's hopping in the portal, only the elite ones are gonna get a big bag. The rest of them, you might look up and catch a team, who need a depth piece or who need a starter, you know. But again, if you're not being developed, man, or you're not, trying to get your education at all, that money that you're making right now is going to run out at some point. And all of your portal options are going to be gone. It's going to be time to leave away from college football altogether. What do you have to show for it?
And
What do you
and
have to show for it?
and this is the thing too, B Jinx. It's like if you in the transfer portal, that means you probably didn't like your current situation and your
Hmm.
trajectory. You feel like you wasn't going to the NFL, right?
Right,
So you should be trying to get somewhere, sit down and develop and getting better. You should be thinking about development instead of
right,
where I could go to get the biggest bag. Like, no,
right,
where I could go to get developed, right?
right,
So I
right.
could feel a player if he going somewhere and he know he gonna start, right? But
Hmm.
if you just going somewhere just for the bag, you probably gonna be like Jaden Rashada. Like, why he didn't stick
Or,
at Georgia?
or a lot of those Cali kids that's up there in Oregon right now just sit on the bench riding away.
Yeah, they riding
Just sit
away.
on riding
They
away.
riding away on the bench, but if which I don't believe, but in that situation, it's cool to sit on the bench if you had elite coaching and you knew they was
Right.
going to develop you to the next level. Like
Hmm.
I'll sit on the bench to get coached by Coach Henny, right?
Right.
Now I can
Right.
see if you going into your senior year you ain't projected to start, that's different. But these
Right.
freshmen, sophomores, I feel like they should be sticking it out. It's better for their career. Because another
Right.
thing, if you on a team and it ain't favoritism and you ain't starting, the coach he keeping it real with you and he being
Uh
hard
huh.
on you, making you
Uh
earn it.
huh.
So
That's
just
why I
so
understand. That's why I understand why Bear would do what he did. And I hate to keep bringing him back up. But he was getting some of the best coaches and coaching and Coach Haney. He had resources available to him right there in the Southern California area. You got to remember, Aaron Donald would be up at the school, straight, off the strength of Coach Haney. So it wasn't nothing that you could ask Aaron Donald. Maybe he would be by the school. You can ask him about certain techniques, and then whatever you get out of Aaron Donald, you get from Coach Henning anyway. So if it was just snaps was your thing, ironically, by the end of the season, you would have been getting the snaps that you wanted because we were low along that defensive line at the end of the season, man. So at some point, like I said, earlier, you got to sit down, man, and get that development and put in the work. A lot of these kids, just because they think they came in as a 5 star, they transferred that, they're going to get, you know, uh, special treatment and not have to put in the work. Well, not with a coach like that. A coach like Henny, they're not trying to hear that, man. You're going to have to come in, you have to put in the work just like you're a 2 star. And we're going to get the best out of you and put you in the best position for you to get to the next level.
See, the problem with Bear, he already think he the best since sliced bread.
Right.
He think he the best defensive tackle in the country. I remember having a Michigan game, his handler or his step pops or whatever gonna try to compare him to Mason Graham, gonna try to say he better than Mason Graham or some shit. Like, that's the problem. See, the problem with Bear, he been told he been great all his life.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the issues I noticed with Bear was back in high school, he transferred schools a lot. So that means that tells me that, and then it carried over to college, which means that it tells me that anytime you're somewhat unhappy with your situation, your first thing to do is to dip. Yeah,
look,
whether it be your handler or whether or not it be you. Yeah. What's that?
Look, I did a video on that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Bear, he was moving around the high school because his handler, Tony Jones, was
Right. That's
taking
what
him
I'm saying.
out of high schools. And then the dude, he had got another high school because Tony Jones, his handler, was like a high school teacher.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah. He had Bear living with him. And he took Bear under his wing. So wherever he went, Bear went. So
Okay.
Bear being used to following this dude and doing whatever this dude say. So when the dude got a different job at a different high school, Bear went there. He didn't care to take Bear out of any school he was at just so he could, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like he put what he want first. So Bear, even though you got this great high school right here and you balling, I got a job at this school, so we coming over here.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so which Bear around since 9th grade.
That's what I'm saying, but it hasn't stopped yet, though.
I know.
So it continues with Georgia. He started at Georgia. He got limited snaps at Georgia, but you got to remember, Georgia had some big dogs along that defensive line. So he wasn't happy with the number of snaps. So he jumped in the portal, come out our way, right? Play one season, then the next season, you still projected to really contribute and get some meaningful snaps, but Coach Henning gonna give you anything. That's not the type of dude he is. He's not gonna give you anything. I know Deontay Lynn not gonna give you anything. You don't come in there and you're gonna earn it. But again, if you're the biggest name along that defensive line, you got this sense of entitlement. Hey, look, they're gonna give it to me anyway because of my name and the amount of stars I get. And you see this NIL deal. Well, hey, look, it's the same as it is in the pros, man. If you're not producing, you go into that bench, and eventually you're gonna be out of here. And what he was, and now he up there in Oregon. And if he don't get the number of snaps, you can look for him, or if something don't go his way, you can look for him to jump in the portal again. Again, he's only going to have so many times he can transfer before his college eligibility is up, and it's going to be time to move along.
Exactly. Well, we can't worry about him now. He gone. That's somebody else's problem. But like I said, DJ Winfield, we signed him. If we could get Jeffrey Emba to sign B Jinx, we back with the positive momentum. It's like it's a roller coaster with this USC thing, man. We probably overreact to everything. But hey, now I hope we just don't take a step back. You know what I'm saying? So we got to clear. I just hope nobody else transfer out unless it's somebody, maybe that we know ain't gonna play. But all the players I feel like I want them to stay, and we need to keep building, keep stacking. Just like dude said, I'm still gonna miss Frank. I wish Pregnon would have stayed, and you add him, then we building something juicy. Hopefully Pregnon might come back. I'm still not giving out hope that Pregnon might be a Bear situation.
It depends on well, his
I don't
situation is
think he
different from
really want to
Bears.
leave. No, I'm just saying like how Bear had hopped in the portal in the spring, then hopped back out before he left.
Well, you know what that was about, though. That was about he was trying to up his bag, and it might be the same situation with Pregnon. From what I understand, he said he was leaving to get a different or a better opportunity or something like that. But that's code word for, hey, look, I'm looking to get more money. And again, I can't knock that kid for wanting more money. It's just that go ahead.
Nah, I'm just saying. I know the Bear situation. Actually, I gotta cut Bear some slack in the spring because I was told from the inside that Bear was tripping because he was promised some money, owed some money that they hadn't gave him. That's why we got him back in real quick because what's he complained about that. I heard Lincoln Riley came and was like, hold on, give him his money. Like if we can't make no broken promises like these other schools do. So that time Bear wasn't even trying to up his bag. I heard we actually had owed him some money.
Yeah, but once you got your money, then what?
It still didn't matter. He still was on some bullshit. Couple late to practice and shit.
Right. I heard he was coming late to practice. When he would show up at practice, he wouldn't have his gear. He'll have to sit him back inside to get his gear on so he can actually practice or whatever. But again, a lot of these situations, once you start, getting a certain amount of money, or you look at these stars, a lot of these kids are going to have this sense of entitlement, like, hey, look, everybody's going to kiss my ass, and that's not always the case. You're still dealing with a bunch of adults, grown men that got a job to do, and if they see you slacking off, when they know that you're capable of more than what you're producing out there in practice, and it started in practice, they see you slipping off. The rest of the team gonna be like, well, hey, look, you let Bear do it, or you let this kid do it. Why you always riding me? And then come game time, they in the game. No, you don't want to set that. You don't want to set that example for the rest of your players because you trying to achieve a goal. What's the goal? Get to the playoffs and win a damn championship. And that would tear your locker room completely up, man.
Exactly. So that's another thing. We gotta get kids that got the right mindset.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why, and like I was saying before you hopped on, B Jinx, and I've been telling y'all for weeks. Like I heard that USC is focusing on California more and recruiting even in the portal. Now this dude, he's from California. So I think it's important. Like, okay, hold on. We be saying, because like I was telling y'all when I was watching these other schools, Arizona State, Boise State, when we was talking about linemen. I was telling y'all we having linemen from the West Coast. They just come in underrated. I'm looking at Arizona State and Boise State in the playoffs with California trenches. And they all look. If you look at Boise State and Arizona State roster, it's 70% California. Now this dude from Cali, he was playing in the Big Ten offensive lineman at Purdue. I bet you when he came out of high school, he was undersized. He up there now. He's 6'4", 360. But I bet you when he came out, he probably was like 250. That's why he was at JUCO. So I be telling y'all, the California kids just develop slower. But if you watch college football,
you talk about physically, right? Physically, they develop slower physically, right?
Yeah, they develop slower physically. So you will look up 2-3 years later and see him balling at another school, and like, what the hell? How we missed him? Because his body wasn't mature. So I like that. I like that I'm seeing what I've been hearing. Right? That we focus more on California and we focusing on these trenches. And you've been right the whole time, B Jinx. Position of needs.
Right. Premium position of need.
Yeah. And I kind of had a feeling that we was gonna replace him quick. Because
we had to. But here's the thing though, Carter. Here's the thing though, Carter. Once he hit the portal and we were looking to replace him, I don't see him coming back. That's just the thing. Once you've been replaced, man, and they could fill your position with the same NIL package, they looking to move on to somebody else, man. Unfortunately, I hate to lose a kid like Pregnon. I would love to see him stay, but I think maybe, like I said, you're dealing with these agents, so you don't know what the agents are telling, saying to the coaching staff, don't know what they're saying to the GM. It could be an outrageous number. We don't know, just to see if they're going to pay. And once the coach staff be like, hey, look, we need, well, what does, Emmanuel say? What does Pregnon say? And like, no, I'm his representative, and this is what he's asking for. Well, there's the breakdown of communication. There's a breakdown in communication because he's going to do what his representative tells him. And the representative tells him, "Hey, look, man, you can get an extra $300K. This school has already offered." And I think you mentioned it, something like that. Once you see them jump in the portal, they already got an idea of where they're going and how much that school is offering. So if you're not willing to match it, the only thing you can do is wish the kid luck and bring in the next guy.
Right. You think back to the pregnancy thing you were saying, I think we'll take him back if he is willing to agree to the original price, because we was already gonna go get this dude though, B Jinx. I seen this like when I did the transfer portal video. I already had talked about him that USC was looking at him.
Yeah,
so
I saw your video.
That money for Pregnon if he willing to match our price. Because we was gonna get this dude regardless, though. I ain't gonna lie. We was gonna get this dude regardless.
Well, a lot of these kids that's been in the program a couple of years, man, at the end of the day, Carter, I really don't think that they want to leave. It's just that, hey, look, if they figure they can get an extra $200,000-$300,000 more, then hey, look, best of luck to you. I really don't believe that Zion Branch wanted to leave. I truly don't. But again,
wanted to leave.
Zach is the headliner for the family. So if Zach feel like, okay, over here I can get into a better situation, I can get more money, then hey, look, I'm going over there. So, and from what I hear, it's between Georgia and Miami.
Right.
Then and they're willing to take my brother too and get him a little change. Then that's where he's going. But that don't necessarily mean that Zion gonna get no playing time. Zach will, but Zion be stuck on that bench, man. He gonna be stuck on that bench.
Hey, BJ, you see that question right there?
Hold on, let me see.
John Good.
What does it say? I'm on my phone. Hold on, I got it. After McCoy as an insurance plan at QB. Who is McCoy? Who is that?
I don't know. I feel like I'm slipping. I ain't know. Is he a senior out of high school? Or, yeah, like he say he from Cali, but what school is he? Is he in college already, or he in high school?
Yeah. I don't know. I hadn't heard about this kid. I don't know.
Oh, B Jones Branches just signed with Georgia. What's up, B Jones? Hop in for a minute if you can, little quick.
Yeah. You remember when I just said he was between Georgia and Miami, which means that. And you know who else is at Georgia? He might be able to get him some playing time. Zion some playing time. Isn't Dante still a DB coach at Georgia?
I thought Dante went to Georgia. Let me see.
Dante. No, Dante went to Georgia.
Oh yeah.
Dante is a DB coach at Georgia.
Yeah.
So he may get some playing time, but listen to me good, Carter.
Who plays safety over there?
Listen, man, they got some dogs over there at Georgia, man, and not only that, but they got some dogs in waiting. So, I don't know how healthy Zion is, but he gonna have some stiff competition on the team getting off that bench. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you right now.
I think Zion could play if you use him. If I was Zion, I ain't gonna lie. If I was Zion, I'll add 20 more pounds and try to play linebacker. Because I don't like his cover skills. Yeah, I mean, because I don't think he could cover at safety.
Well, if they can bring him in, if they can bring him
football,
in and plays, if they can bring him in and plays, to be the strong safety for run support, bring him down in the box, then maybe,
yeah,
But
and that's what I'm saying. So we talking about run support for him to help the run, then he might as well play linebacker or like that hybrid position, that Sewell. I just don't like him. I actually like his coverages on like center field. Like either you got to have him center field deep, he just covering the area and making sure.
I don't know about that because he was in on that deep cover when that tight end for Penn State got loose down there in the end zone. You know the play where the tight end snapped the ball and took off down the damn field. There was Zion back there that could have picked that ball off and missed the damn ball. And that kid caught that touchdown. So I don't know about that, man. Maybe you right. Maybe he put on 20 pounds and maybe play outside linebacker or something like that. But he had a better chance though, Carter. He had a better chance of staying in Danton Lynn's system, man, because he was getting some burn. When he was healthy, man, one thing you can say about the Branch brothers and Lincoln Riley, and I know you spoke to him being really loyal to certain players. Them Branch brothers was two of the players that Lincoln Riley was really loyal to, if we want to be honest about the thing. If we want to be transparent about this, Zach got more touches than he had deserved, or more targets. Let me say that, not touches, but targets that maybe he deserved. Zion, soon as he got healthy, he was right back out there, man. So it just so happened that Lemon is just a dog, and once Lemon showed what he could do, and they see what they could do in practice. They see who can do what in practice. They probably already knew that Lemon could do this last season. But it's just that Zach was so dynamic last season, you can't justify not putting him back there on punt return, on kickoff return. But for some reason, he just stopped returning the ball back on kickoff return this season. So in comes Lemon. Lemon go out there and start jumping over cats. You understand what I'm saying? So we as a fan base, we're like, man, what is being at? How come Lemon ain't been out there? Well, because it's been Zach out there. Not only that, man, Lemon can run that route tree, and Lemon got a set of hands on him. So I think we definitely got the better of the two. Carter, you still there? I think Carter dropped off. We got in was Carter. Yeah? All right, cool.
There you go. B. Jackson, what's up, man?
What's going on, B. Jones? What you know, man?
What's up with it?
Man, I'm at work, man. On my little break real quick, so pop in for a minute.
Okay.
How you feeling?
You posted in there that the branch kid over there at Georgia now.
Yeah, they just signed in Georgia. That was just announced about a couple minutes ago, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, hey, more power to them, man. Hope they do well over there.
You think that's a good spot for them?
Honestly, no.
No.
But I mean, they're not really known for wide receiver production. I don't think that'd be the best case for him for his production.
And then they losing a quarterback too. Going to the league now. He declared. What's his name? Carson Beck.
Right.
And the one who they had in playing in the bowl game, he looked kind of shaky.
Yeah, I don't think Kirby really trusts his arm like that. So I don't know. Maybe maybe they'll do something in the portal at quarterback, but we'll see.
And then Carter was just saying how Rashada, he just hit the portal from Georgia. The kid that's out of Cali.
Portal today. He's on his third school in 2 years?
Something like that, man. So something like that. But I was telling Carter that I think Dante's still over at Georgia as a DB coach, right?
Yeah, he's listed as a DB, but I think they have another DB coach over there. I think he's more in a recruiting role over there for them.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. What you think about this offensive tackle that we just brought in?
I've been at work. I ain't really been able to check out his tape yet, so I'll reserve my critiques for later. But from what I'm hearing, it doesn't look like he's coming in to be a starter. just from things I've heard. I haven't seen for myself yet, but I know Trojan Blade over there said he don't think he'll be able to start
Well, he gonna have to plug in somewhere because I think he's an interior lineman, man, and
right.
if we lost Pregnon. If Pregnon not coming back, we might as well start him. You might as well put him in there and see what he got, man. The good thing about it, like I was saying on the last live, B Jones, man, the first two games, in addition to the spring game, gonna be like your preseason. So you'll be able to see what you got. The only thing about with the spring is, you know, they're not gonna come with no exotic blitzes or anything like that, or exotic coverages. Everything is gonna be vanilla. So we really gonna have to, wait until the first two games of next season to see what type of offensive line and defensive line, what type of improvements we made with the transfers or the young talent that's come along. We'll have to wait until then to really see what we got. The good thing is we don't start off with an LSU to where, hey, look, you can't really experiment with no young or bring in no young cats, and let them get their hands dirty. Like we started off with this year, we had to come with it, full steam ahead. Next year, you got basically 8 to 12 quarters between the first game and the third game to see what you got, to test out the depth, to see what the freshmen, gonna look like, and to see who play well with who. I think that's gonna be very key, especially for building confidence and Maava to continue, what he did, from the little playing time that he got from that Nebraska game all the way through the bowl game. Right now, he what 3-1 right now, something like that. Yeah, he played 4 games, so right now he's 3-1. It's going to help him continue to build. But also, what I would do in those first 2 games, you know who I would throw in there? B. Jones. You still there? Carter, you still there? I guess everybody dropped off.
No, I'm here.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I can hear you now. But you know who I would throw in those first 2 games to
Who's that?
see what they look like? Longstreet.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, listen, if we can, which we should be able to do, we should be able to actually blow out some teams now that we have our
Mm-hmm.
short up.
Mm-hmm.
That was a problem with Grinch. Why Moss
Right.
get as much experience as we would have hoped for because we could never blow nobody out. There was always a
Right.
shot because we couldn't stop no damn body. So,
Right.
so now that we have a defense, man, that's more likely to happen with this schedule. So we should be able to see Hassan get in there, man. So I'm really hoping for that. So along with I want to see our young DBs get in there too, man.
Right. In those first 2 games, like I said, they just gonna have to treat the spring and the first 2 games like a preseason. That's gonna be your preseason games right there. I definitely Longstreet would definitely be, get at least out of those first 2 games, he would definitely get 2 quarters. I would try to get him no less than 2 quarters by himself.
Yep. It should happen. It should. Also, if it don't happen, then we got bigger problems.
Oh yeah. If you can't blow out, who was it? Georgia
State.
Southern, or who's Georgia Southern? I think it's Georgia Southern and somebody else. Who's that first name? Montana, something like that.
Yeah.
Montana State. If you can't blow out them 2 teams, then yeah, you definitely got issues.
Right.
From what I understand, we got
Can y'all hear me?
another defensive line. Yeah, we can hear you now. You going in and out? I think Carter having
My
some technical
service
issues.
messing up. Yes,
Yeah,
my
it's real
service tripping.
choppy on your
And
end. It's real choppy.
they said Trojan Blade. They said Trojan Blade saying this dude ain't good.
That would be Jones was just saying that he more so coming in for like a depth piece. He's not going to be a starter, but if we can't bring in anybody else, you may as well stick him in there. From what I understand, he has at least 13 starts in the last season, something like that. Was that right?
Yeah, I'm like,
that's at
yeah,
Purdue
he
though.
was starting last year, wasn't he?
He was starting at Purdue. So I mean, listen, stop. I just want the best player to play. So he coming in, just know that he got to compete. And now if he's the best option that we have at the position, cool. Give him the start.
Right.
But, but nothing should be given just because you're transferring in. I'll say that.
That's true. That's true.
You got to beat the guys that we already have here on campus.
Yeah, and our freshmen, we got some freshmen that they threw in that bowl game at left tackle when Page went down. It pretty much held his own. So, with some continued development, I don't know. Now, who is it we kept? Is it Henson or Hanson? Which one is it? The tight end coach that got promoted to offensive line coach. Is it Hanson? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's Hanson.
It from what I understand, he used to be an O-line coach somewhere else.
Yeah,
yeah.
So he got experience, which is good, but it really going to depend on how far, how quick he's able to bring those freshmen along so they can get in there and play. Again, it's a good thing we got a preseason not starting off with an LSU again this year. 2 preseason games. So we'll definitely have to see, how far along they can bring those offensive linemen during the spring and get the balance with those defensive linemen that we bringing in. So that's what it's all about, man. Getting some reps with against a more experienced, player in order to hone your skills. Iron sharpens iron, right?
Exactly.
So you get go ahead.
If you look at the linemen that we brought in over the past 3 years, man, we got the body types.
Right.
We got the body types. But since, nobody gets to see practices, we don't really know what we actually have.
Right.
But man, if you go down the roster and just look at the body types that we have, we got 6'7", 6'8", 6. You know what I mean? We got a couple.
They some big kids. They some big kids.
Big boys now. If we can put some game behind them, man, and some strength, we're gonna have a dangerous old line, man.
Yeah, and like I was saying, when you get to practice and they get to battle against these kids that they bringing in, the kid that they bringing in from Kentucky, the other kid that they bringing in from what was that other big kid that they bringing in from? Where did he come from?
From Georgia.
From Georgia.
Yeah.
They get to battle against each other, man, and you combine that with my man, the strength and conditioning coach, getting them boys stronger. Getting them up to speed with that's going to be listen, this offseason, man, is going to be real important for those freshmen, offensive linemen.
Yep.
And the defensive lineman with Floyd Bucard and the other kid that's out of Texas. His name escapes me. Gordon or something like that. What's his kid name? Cordova.
Yeah.
Him and Stewart. This offseason, man, is going to be very important. Like I said, this is going to be a make or break season for Lincoln. I think he knows it.
Yeah.
I think he knows it. You
know who else that we need to keep an eye on this offseason?
Who?
Carlon Jones.
Yeah. The nose tackle, right? He from Cali, right? He's from like Northern Cali?
No, he's from Texas. He's from Bay City, Texas.
Oh, okay. I thought that kid was from California for some reason.
Real good kid, man. If you get a chance, man, you should check out the interview we did with him last year. Real good kid, man. He battled some injuries. So, he's a little banged up this year.
Right.
But coming out, he's about 310 when he showed up at campus.
Yeah, something like that. I know he was a big kid already. 6'3", 310.
Right. So another year under Wiley, get rid of that bad body weight, put on some more muscle.
With that baby fat. You gotta get rid of that baby fat.
It's gonna be a bargain for him, man. It's explosive, man. Real explosive.
I heard Kobe Pepe coming back, right?
Yep, Kobe Pepe is coming back.
So that's gonna be good for depth. That's gonna be good for depth. Yep. Again, like I was telling Carter before you came on, we got hurt because we didn't have any depth, man. A lot of teams gassed us because we didn't have the size that we needed and the depth that we needed.
Perfect.
Especially after Eric Gentry went down and we couldn't really generate a pass rush. It was a wrap from there.
Yep. No, that's
it was a wrap.
So it's gonna be a whole different ball game, man. Especially, we're gonna see some more picks this year. See some more sacks this year. Linebackers gonna be filling holes. I mean, it's gonna be a whole different.
Oh yeah. I think Raleigh has come to terms that he's no longer playing in the Pac-12 anymore. A lot of those kids that he recruited for the Pac-12, but now this is big boy football, and actually, the Big Ten conference was small. Was better, has a better overall conference and more competition than the SEC does. The SEC was real top heavy. They've been top heavy for the last maybe 5 or 6 years. You don't have that many good teams in the SEC.
Right.
It was Alabama was in their way for a minute, but now you're starting to see their armor really starting to crumble. Even with Georgia don't have the quarterback that they need. I think they were a quarterback away from beat Notre Dame, but Notre Dame proved to be more physical than they were. The only team that's still in it is Texas, and they're looking kind of shaky. Even though I'm pulling for Sark, I want Sark to pull it out, but that's the only reason.
Right.
That's the only reason why I'm pulling for Texas. But
Dang.
the Big Ten has is currently proven to be the tougher of the conference right now.
Ain't it funny how the teams you see right back at the top
Mm-hmm.
are the same teams that was on top around the top about 20 years ago?
Right. Oh yeah.
Before our sanctions happened, and the SEC quote unquote dominance happened.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with that because they pulled a fast one on SC, but I get why they did it. In order for the SEC to rise, USC had to falter. They couldn't allow one team to continue to dominate college football. So when I saw Urban Meyer come on, because I think this was like around 2006, 2007, when the SEC started to really take off. Urban Meyer came on TV. And he's like, hey, look, the SEC keep getting left out of the championship game. He was talking about us because every year we were up there. When we talked about BCS bowls, and then they got Paul D to go in there and do what he did, and it took those sanctions, sanction of SC, them 30 some scholarships over 3 years to see a lot of that Cali talent start to leave, because that's when this actually started to leave California, was when those sanctions hit, when those 30 scholarships got taken. Then you start seeing them start to go to Oregon. They started going to Ohio State. They started going to Alabama. They started going to Georgia. They started going in Washington too. Let's not leave Washington out of it. Washington was the recipient of a lot of that Cali talent also. But when you couple that with Pete Carroll leaving, that was just a double whammy, man. I think that was the straw that kind of broke our back right there. And Pete Carroll saw what was coming down the pike. But okay, if we bring in Lane to kind of somewhat salvage some of that Cali talent, maybe it won't be so bad. But we underestimated how bad it really was.
What you think about this lineman from Alabama, man, Pritchett?
Pritchett,
It sounds like it's
He was a starter. See, and that's another thing too. We're not the only ones leaving starters now. From what I understand, he got blamed for a lot of for some of their losses, as well as Miro. And of course, I live in the state, right? So it's a lot of people down here that I know that are Alabama fans. See, when you're in this state right here, man, they make you choose between Alabama and Auburn. I just so happen to be one of the outsiders, right? So I hear a lot of people talking, and they blame a lot of those losses on Miro and on the offensive line. In particular, Pritchett, if I understand, he was the right tackle, if I'm not mistaken. Right. He was the right tackle, and he had a lot of starts, but they blame a lot of their failures on those two kids right there. Those two kids, they put a lot of that stuff on. So him hitting the portal, I don't think his is more so NIL driven, and more so it might be more so okay. I didn't sign up to play for this guy anyway. And plus, the fan base is blaming me for some of this stuff, so let me get the hell on out of here. I think if we can get him, we need to get him.
It sounds like we're going after him, B.
We need to.
Yep.
And if Hanson and Riley can get him out there, they definitely need to get him again. That's that size that we've been needing, along with the depth that we've been needing. That I think that's going to put us back up at the top, B. Jones, man, because I really think that with this kid Brian Jackson, I think he's a special kid, man. With his size, man, and the way he run that ball, the way he has the vision. He reminds me of Lindell White, man. That's who he reminds me of. He even looked like him out there on that field. But if you go back and look at that bowl game, man, a lot of times he running down hills. Those DBs didn't want to tackle him. I went back and I watched some of it the other day. I'm like, damn, these DBs kind of like trying to, jump to the side and maybe, really go for his lower legs. They really don't want no part of that kid. And I don't blame him. What, he's 6'1", 6 feet, 230. So Riley showed, the commitment to running the ball. He ran the ball 28 times in that game. So I think if we can shore up these trenches, man, I think we're gonna be fine. I think we're gonna be just fine, man.
I agree. I'm not even too much worried about the defensive side of it. I mean, when you get more defensive linemen full, but
what about linebacker? What about the linebacker spot though, B. Jones? Do you think? I know we're gonna be good in the secondary. I get that part. The only thing I might have a little concern is at the linebacker position, the depth of it.
So I heard from a bird, right? I heard from a little birdie that told me that we might have got a linebacker commit, man. So
okay.
I say who right now?
Yeah, I understand that.
Yes, it sounds like we got one.
Somebody said Emmanuel Pregnon hasn't officially entered the portal. Y'all think he changing his mind?
I thought he definitely officially hit the portal.
I thought he officially did it too.
I'm pretty sure he did, man.
Yeah. Because he didn't come out. He definitely hadn't come out and refuted it. And before you got on, B. Jones, I was telling Carter that a lot of times, man, these negotiations are failing because of the agent. Not so much as the kid or the coaching staff. The agent has a set amount in mind, and if they don't come in a well what the agent is asking for, they're advising that kid to enter his name into that portal, man. So we also got to keep that in mind too, that these agents are trying to get their fee up too. Because when I read that, I was like, Emmanuel Pregnant's agent. I didn't know he had an agent. I didn't know it.
Yeah, all these kids got agents now.
Yeah.
So now you got the GM, which, from what I understand, they're supposed to be on a new GM as well. I think they're looking at Sosna, but I don't think Sosna gonna come back. Right now, he would the Commanders. Right now, I don't think he's coming back. So they're looking at a couple of other guys from the NFL level to come in and be the GM, which I do think that we need, because I don't think that Riley should have to handle coaching and being, the GM as well. He don't have the time for it. So a lot of these agents and the GM talks are breaking down. So I think that Emmanuel Pregnon is a good player, but if we coming up 300-400K short, I can see them saying, well, hey, look, you might want to look around elsewhere. I can see them saying that.
Right.
Hey, they said Belichick hired Lombardi from the NFL. Like Belichick, that's what I'm saying. Belichick gonna have NFL staff surrounding him. He's gonna have an NFL dude running his NIL and his
but you also gotta keep those guys young enough to where they can relate to these kids. I understand Belichick coming back, and he's
these kids is related money.
I get that, but you gotta remember, Belichick didn't want to pay shit at New England either. Remember?
Yeah,
Belichick ain't never been one known to pay no paper. He really cold-blooded when it comes to that.
But I'm pretty sure he still understand though that you can't lowball your way through college. NFL got shit like franchise tags and shit like that, and 3-4 year contracts. This college shit is year by year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they can franchise tag your ass for a year or two easy. You know what I'm saying? The NFL, they draft you if they want to. They could get 5 years out you.
Yeah.
Man, though, because that franchise, they can sign you to a 5-year deal with a franchise tag. Right? So
there's typically 1 or 2 players on that team.
Lowball more because sometimes they negotiate like 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, catch y'all up, but I got to get back, man. So I'm gonna let y'all.
Okay.
We'll
I'm gonna slide off too. I'm gonna get back on later. My internet tripping. I
Okay.
just wanted to bring y'all this, but I'm gonna come back later. B Jones, like around like 5.
All right, bet that'll work.
All right, pull up on me. All right, Trojan gang. I'll be back later in a couple more hours. Tap back in with your boy.
All right, get with you.